Hey, let's switch it over to men's hoops. Interesting week for Nebraska. Last week you lose to Iowa in overtime. You blow a big late lead there in Iowa City, and then you go to Purdue and you just get everything handed to you, 104-68. Nebraska was on the cusp of it being ranked. That's no longer the case. They've got Maryland at home Thursday, and then or I'm sorry, Rutgers at home Thursday, and then they play at Maryland on Sunday in sort of an NFL playoff appetizer. Is the week that Nebraska just had a red flag to you guys, or is that just, hey, this happens in the season, you shake it off, you move on? I guess where are you guys on the react, overreact to what just happened?
Don't overreact. It's just bad.
Yep.
It's part of the season. It's who Nebraska is. It's what their defense is. They allow 3 pointers, and um, if you know, they basically uh, dare you to make 3 pointers, and or Creighton couldn't do it, and we've seen Creighton struggle with that all year. Um, 2 weeks ago, Mick Cronin, it was about 3 or 4 press conferences ago. Um, Mick Cronin was crying about how UCLA was horrible shooting against Nebraska. They had all their shots, it didn't make them. He couldn't understand why. Well, it's basketball. Um, Iowa was down 15, and Iowa caught up and beat them because they made a whole bunch of threes from everywhere. And then Purdue had one of the great offensive games of the year, making a whole bunch of threes. So that's Nebraska. That's what they've chosen to do. That's how they're built. They're gonna, and that's not a bad. It's not a bad strategy in the Big Ten. Take away the inside, don't get beat under the basket, and you know there aren't a lot of teams that are going to beat you outside the line. And but they did twice last week. Iowa game, they should have put them away. They never should have come to that. They had some turnovers. They blinked, and Iowa got home. When you're home, that's how it goes. So, um, yeah, I still believe in Nebraska. I still believe in that team. I believe that they're going to win them a whole bunch of games at home. Probably they got to go find some on the road, and I think they'll still make the tournament, but they got to go do it.
I was you sat down with Fred Hoiberg last week, Tom, and I just got the sense off of your column that his his fire for this is pretty strong. Like he feels like maybe there's something they can really accomplish in the next 3 to 5 years that have just never been done here.
Yeah, I agree, and he's got a formula now that I think he feels good about. And that's half the battle, whether it's Matt Rule or Fred Hoiberg or Will Bolt, is having the identity, having the formula that you can recruit to, not only out of high school, but the portal. In Fred's case, it's been the portal. Um, but toughness and defense go a long way. Um, didn't go a long way last week,
Hmm.
but you got to be tough. You're going to get hit in college basketball. You're going to get hit. You're going to, it's there's no elite teams. People are good. They have their good nights and their bad nights, and the better teams have had more good than bad. But yeah, I agree. His fire is. I was really taken by that. He really wants to do this for Nebraska. He feels. I think a lot. I think he feels more passionate about the job than maybe he thought he would. I mean, grew up a Husker fan, but now that he's involved and now that he sees how much it means to the fans and the people, yeah, he really wants it. And a lot of us thought he'd be here a couple of years and go back to the NBA or go to this job or that job. And year 6, he's still here, and he's staying. Yeah, he's this will be probably his last job, and at least coaching. So, um, it's and it's not just about winning one NCAA tournament game. He wants to really set this thing up to where they're doing it every year, and it's an expectation. You know, I make a big deal out of the storm or the court stormings, but if you can get away from that, then that's the impact that he's made.
And this is maybe a simple question, but why do teams like Nebraska struggle so much on the road? This is the second year in a row where that's a pretty clear trend where at home they can hang with anybody. And on the road, man, like either they can't hold on to a lead or they get the brakes beaten off them anyway. Like where you guys watch a lot of college basketball, where does that come from? That inconsistency? I mean, it can't just be the environment or what goes into that?
I don't know. I've been watching the college basketball for 40 some years, and I've seen great home environments. I was a little taken aback when Fred said the UCLA game was the best atmosphere he'd been around. When he used to call Hilton Coliseum home. He played at Hilton Coliseum. I've been to games at Hilton Coliseum that were better atmospheres than what I saw at Nebraska 2 weeks ago. But um, that aside, it's just I don't know. I can't describe it. It's people play better at home. The home team plays raises up, and the visitors have something in their head. Well, we we're just not going to win tonight, so it's just not going to happen. The really tough teams, and it has to do with the coach, can go on the road and win. And I used to watch Norm Stewart do that, and he would just love. He loved being the villain. He loved going on the road. He loved yelling at the fans and having them yell at him and cursing him. He loved it. He loved going into Lincoln and winning. That's the kind of mentality you have to have, and not many have it.
I'd say a couple things, Evan. First of all, the teams that played on the road in the Big Ten this year are very, very hard to beat at home. Purdue doesn't lose really at home. Michigan State doesn't lose very often, and neither does Iowa. Iowa's actually a very good home team. Iowa's really struggled on the road. I think they got beat pretty handily last night at USC. So they've struggled on the road, but they're good at home. Two, Nebraska's better at home than they've ever been. So part of this is like the difference between Nebraska at home and the road, you know, 15 years ago was that they were bad at both. So now they're really good at home. They're dominant at home. And so that's part of the difference is the juxtaposition is that they're way better at home. And then the other thing is making shots. You got to make threes. Um, got to make threes on the road. Got to make shots. You can talk. Certainly, you'd love to go on the road and play elite defense and smother that team, but that's challenging because they have their home court and they use momentum and all the other things. So what you really need to do on the road is score. That's just kind of the way. Anybody who wants to do it could go back and look through the last 10 games that Nebraska's won, either on the Big Ten road or on a neutral site, and see how many points it scored.
Hmm.
Anybody want to do it, they can do it. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it's notable and it's about scoring. So the great thing is Fred Hoiberg is an incredible offensive mind. I just feel like they've got to hit some more shots. So they recruited the guys that they think can hit the shots, and if those guys start hitting shots in January and February, they have the chance to be really special. If they don't, they're probably an 18, 19 win team, which is still better than where they were 4 years ago.